Hello, everybody. I think I'm the only one who didn't go on Facebook. What is there to say about a man at the end of his life? I think of the definition of life. Definition says it is the quality that distinguishes a vital and function being from a dead body. Jan's life was something that I was not fluent in. As I would say, a Marvel or a DC comic book character, the nerd jock that I am very fluent with those characters. Jan and I were both assigned to Tower Ladder 10 on the same order. He was an officer and I was a firefighter. He was assigned there as a fireman, and once he was promoted, he came back as a lieutenant to continue to service the same community. The first day that I met Jan, he greeted me with a handshake, that wide smile, and a joke that only one of us laughed at. If you know either one of us, you can imagine how that moment played out. He would tell a joke, explain the joke, go into different characters in the joke, and even give voices of the characters in the joke. If he thought it was funny, it was funny. That was it. And if you thought it was funny, you were going to be there another 5 minutes to hear another funny joke, referring back to the joke, probably from one of the characters from the previous joke. I gave Jan a half smirk to let him know I did not like the joke. And I was not going to be there another 5 minutes. And on our introduction, we shook hands again, and he turned around and walked away with a fat cigar in between his fingers and said, "Welcome aboard, Jay. Let's save the babies." And I responded, "Sir, yes, sir." And in that moment, the orientation of this man's distinguishing qualities cannot be better stated. He was a servant to the community, and he would stand and talk to anyone as long as you were willing to converse, and will look you in the face and say his truths. What was preserved in that lingering space through the foggy cigar smoke, jokes with setups that I often missed and more often wished that I had, the minutia of our 0800 meetings, where the smallest details of our jobs were explained. It all culminated to this one point. The priority for the members of Jan's house. Driving lessons, he would give the guys. Always take the left side and passing if you can, but just do it. He would ask, "Do you need help fixing that?" "Well, come back. You let me know." How proud he was of his children. The last story he told me was his daughter was going to school, how beautiful they were. "Do you want to see?" He would just take out his phone, scroll for 15, 20 minutes. I had to go. It was too cold outside. Couldn't wait. That's beautiful. He was very proud. The story of how lucky he was when he found his wife. He said, guys, I'm telling you, she has this special tea that she makes in the morning. She doesn't care about that other stuff. And then there's the job, the love of the job. Comic books have different titles. They're written in different fonts to encourage the readers to select that distinguishing book. I imagine the title of Jan's first edition comic would be called Do Our Best to Save the Lives and Enjoy the Most of All of It, in bright fire engine red. What I remember about Jan's character the most is on emergent responses, he never yelled when he got excited. In fact, he spoke even calmer. He never panicked, and he answered the bell without pause. The Chicago firefighter heroic story is now one that I know. And you should consider yourself honored if you got to be in any of Jan's adventures. Thank you.